So you found the perfect house in Hilton Head or Bluffton, South Carolina. Maybe it's in Sea Pines, Palmetto Dunes, Margaritaville, Sun City, or Hampton Lake, or any of the other gated neighborhoods that we have here in the Lowcountry. You're feeling really good about your monthly payment, you've budgeted with your lender, and then all of a sudden you get the closing disclosure. And now there's a whole bunch of fees on there that you've never seen in your life. You have HOA fees, transfer fees, capital contribution, flood insurance. If you're buying a condominium, now you're seeing a regime fee. All that put together has increased your monthly budget, your monthly payment by hundreds of dollars, and your cash to close by thousands of dollars, drastically altering your ability and your desire to make this purchase. Believe it or not, this happens a lot of times with out-of-state buyers. My name's Aaron Benton. I'm host of this channel and a local mortgage lender here in the Lowcountry. Today, I'm gonna walk you through the different layers and the I gotchas, if you will, to our local market so that you're not left confused and surprised at the closing table. So stick around because we're about to get after it right now. The first big nuance to Hilton Head Bluffton is the majority of the properties here are in gated neighborhoods. They're known as plantations, PUDs, which are project unit developments. People coming from out of state or elsewhere might be surprised to realize that there is a monthly HOA fee. Sometimes it's paid annually, semi-annually, but there is an added cost to the real estate. Well, understand inside the gates, you have roads, you have bike paths, you have landscaping, potentially security guard, and of course, normal upkeep. Maybe there is a neighborhood swimming pool. All the amenities have to be paid for. And where do they come from? You, the homeowners. So these fees or these HOAs can cost anywhere from $100 a month, maybe a little bit less, to $2,000 a month, depending on the neighborhood you're buying in. So it's very important that you get with your real estate agent or your lender and you understand, what is this monthly cost? Why does this matter? Because when I am calculating your debt to income, yes, I have principal and interest, taxes, insurance, but I also have to consider the HOA fee. That is part of my calculation to determine if you qualify. So, I mean, rewind, I've actually had a client before. They called me and they were about 3 weeks into the deal and they were suddenly denied by their lender and they had no idea why. I looked at the file for about 10 minutes and I said, well, unfortunately, what was left out here was that your HOA is about $2,000 per month, and I'm sorry, that has actually disqualified you from being able to make this purchase from a debt to income standpoint. So it was something that simple. It took me minutes to uncover, but it's something that you don't want to drag into the finish line because it will leave you with a surprise. Remember, if you qualify to carry it, it truly will be a surprise because wanting to carry it and qualifying to carry it are different. So please keep that in mind that the majority of the homes here in Bluffton and Hilton Head are in these gated neighborhoods, and you do get, you spend some money in terms of what you get in return, amenities, security, things of that nature, but it comes at a cost, so just be aware. Another part to add on to that is condominiums. So a unique part here is not only do we have these PUDs or these gated neighborhoods, these HOAs, inside of the gate, you will actually have condominiums as well. Therefore, not only is the condominium owner paying the HOA, but they're also paying the condo fee, otherwise known as a regime fee. So it's not uncommon, say the monthly HOA fee is $150 per month, and then on top of that you have the condo fee, which is $550 per month. Again, part of your qualifying figures. So you have your $150 for a month for your HOA, your $550 a month for your condo fee. Suddenly that is $700 per month that the lender, myself, has to take into consideration for qualifying. Now again, with the condo, you're going to get added amenities. You're going to have probably a master insurance policy that is going to cover the exterior of the building. You might have your own community pool that is just for that condominium association. You might have trash removal. So yes, there are certainly perks. It is not just money that goes out and you don't get anything in return for it. However, it is just a cost that you have to be aware of. So not only do you have the HOA, but you could have, when you have a condominium, you could also have your condo fee on top of it. So this next topic is the one that really catches people off guard. Many times I'll talk to people, they've started their search, or maybe they're a few months in, and they know that they're gonna get hit with this monthly HOA fee. That is evident. They're buying in a gated neighborhood, they know there's a cost associated with it. Where they really get caught off guard is when I start working up the cash to close. The total output at the finish line in addition to the down payment. And that is the capital contribution, HOA transfer fee, initiation fee, and it can be thousands of dollars. I mean, some neighborhoods will charge a couple $100s, some will charge 1/4%, some will charge $165,000 one time up front. That'll make you not want to move for a while. You're gonna be there for a while, you cough up $165,000 at the finish line. For example, we'll use Sun City, very common neighborhood in Bluffton. It charges 2/3 of 1% of the purchase price, $3,500 capital contribution, and $150 admin fee. That means that on a $350,000 purchase, your transfer fees between the capital contribution flat fee of $3,500, the 2/3 of 1%, and the $150 admin fee, your cost is going to be basically $6,000 up front, in addition to your normal closing costs, which are lender-related costs, attorney-related costs, because South Carolina is an attorney state and requires you to have an attorney throughout any real estate transaction. You potentially have your tax and insurance escrows. So these HOA transfer fees, now again, they go towards good costs. They help build up the amenities that you're buying into. They're what make these gated neighborhoods so great. But I think what you're probably recognizing through this video is nothing is free. You pay for those amenities and you pay for those things, not only through a monthly HOA, but the upfront capital contribution fee and the HOA transfer fee. So very important when you're trying to budget your funds to close, your upfront cash in addition to your principal down payment, that you know what the neighborhood transfer fee is, because it doesn't matter if it's the nicest neighborhood and the most sought after neighborhood on Hilton Head, or kind of the other neighborhood where you're looking to buy. Another topic that is unique is that Hilton Head is a coastal barrier island. And that means that the majority of Hilton Head is in a FEMA flood zone. Now, if you are in FEMA flood zone A, that means that in order to obtain a mortgage, you must have flood insurance. Good perk though, the town of Hilton Head participates in the FEMA community rating program and has received 5 stars. That means that the premiums here on flood insurance receive a 25% discount. So you are getting a perk thanks to the town of Hilton Head. Another piece there is I encourage you, if the seller has a flood policy already in place, please try to assume their flood policy or at least see what their policy is. You probably know or have heard that insurance has gone up over the years. Therefore, if you are able to assume the seller's flood policy, chances are you will get grandfathered into a rate that is potentially lower than market at this present time. So it's worth it to at least look at the seller's flood policy and see if you can assume that. Again, this is not meant to be scary from a flood insurance standpoint. Hilton Head, Bluffton, beautiful places, but understand proximity to water. Part of the reason that you love it is you got to pay for it. You have flood insurance. So it's one of those situations where yes, you're going to have your homeowner's insurance, but you're also going to have potentially flood insurance as well. Not a bad thing, but it's just an added cost that you want to be aware of. So the next part is not really geared towards a gated neighborhood, but rather it is a nuance or an oddity surrounding the state of South Carolina. So South Carolina has two kinds of tax brackets. They have the primary, which is a 4% millage rate, and then they also have the non-primary. It doesn't matter if it's second home or investment, it's still considered non-primary, and that is at the 6% millage rate. What it ultimately boils down to is the taxes on a non-primary resident are about 2.5 times greater than that of a primary residence. A lot of people get caught off guard because what they do is they look at maybe the seller's property disclosure, maybe they look up the Zillow tax figure, and I'm sitting here comfortably telling you whatever you see on that property disclosure or from Zillow of the tax records, that number is absolutely not going to be the tax figure that you pay. It is very important that you reach out to a local mortgage lender, talk to your real estate agent of what the taxes you will actually be responsible for, because that is a number where if the property records show $3,000 and suddenly you're buying it as a non-primary tax rate and the person before you, the seller, it's their primary, suddenly that $3,000 turns into $9,000 10 grand, that is a real eye-opener. Now understand, taxes are adjusted or can be adjusted every single year. Imagine that you were to buy the property as a second home and you were going to rent it out or what have you, occasionally use it, and then you retired maybe 3 years after purchase and you moved to Hilton Head or Bluffton. And what happens in that piece is you can apply for the primary tax rate and it will be adjusted for you. So the tax bill will dramatically come down because of the fact that it is your primary residence. So again, that is not really geared towards gated neighborhoods, but that is a huge nuance that people get caught off guard all the time. See, people will look at so many times individuals will look at the seller's disclosure, and the seller is not lying to you. They're simply telling you, this is what we pay in taxes, this is what we pay in insurance, this is what we pay all across the board, maybe utilities and such. Well, I'm telling you that chances are the insurance is going to be higher because insurance has increased. Depending on the occupancy, the taxes could increase. Also understand that the properties in South Carolina get reassessed whenever there is a sale, and they get reassessed based on purchase price. So the fact that if the seller bought the property for $400,000 and you're now buying it 10 years later for $800,000, the taxes will go up. It's important to get those upfront numbers. So kind of pulling it all together for you, there is certainly a massive, there's a lot of things that go on here in Bluffton and Hilton Head. And so many times I will get people who, they've kind of already started the process elsewhere and I present them numbers and they walk away saying, wow, I'm so glad we had this conversation because I really didn't know that, wow, the HOA fee is this. You mean to tell me I have a condo fee on top of that? You mean to tell me I have this HOA transfer fee or this capital contribution fee? What is flood insurance again? How much does that cost? There's so many questions that arise, but the beauty is, and one thing that I pride myself on, is giving you numbers in advance. So, you know, if we have that conversation, you walk away after an hour conversation with, this is what my monthly payment's gonna be all in, and this is what my all-in cost is gonna be at the finish line. Again, my name is Aaron Benton. I'm host of this channel. I love talking about the nuances of our local market. I live here and I really do appreciate and enjoy educating individuals on that total cost because I don't want you to get surprised at the finish line. And so many times people will walk away with smiles at the end because they knew what the cost was going to be days, weeks, months in advance before actually signing the dotted line and getting the keys. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope one day to get to meet you. And if not, I hope to at least see you on the next one.